2023 Denzel Washington's latest revenge movie, The Equalizer 3, is shocking. The ultimate action aesthetic is simply too enjoyable. This bald man has a gun pointed at his head, but he is looking down at his watch.
That's what you have to decide your fate. 9 seconds.
9 seconds later, Denzel gave a lesson in movement skills to the people who were about to kill him. He quickly held his gun, killed the minions on his right, and then inserted the barrel of the gun into it. In the eyes of the gunman, the old man reacted at this time and wanted to launch a sneak attack. Denzel turned around and gave the remaining bullets to the old man through the gunman's head. Seeing that he was not dead yet, Denzel picked up the gun and fired 2 more shots. After sending the old man away completely, Denzel was ready to leave. He had no intention of killing the old man's grandson, but unexpectedly his momentary kindness hurt him. Denzel did not expect that the boy would shoot him in the back. After 2 shots, he wanted to fight back, but the boy ran away. The weak Denzel fainted in the car and was found by a kind passerby. Because his blood pressure was too low, there was no time to send him to the hospital. Fortunately, the old doctor at the clinic was skilled in removing the 22mm bullet. Denzel soon regained consciousness. Since he was unclear about his history, Enzo moved him to a house to recuperate. Under his careful care, Denzel recovered quickly and could already walk on crutches. He slowly walked out along the stairs and enjoyed the urban atmosphere among the residential buildings. People also looked at this stranger curiously. Because he didn't understand the language, he could only rely on gestures. After successfully ordering a cup of milk tea, Gio led his daughter to Denzel and returned his car keys. The little girl thoughtfully gave Denzel a pack of snacks. At night, Denzel called the CIA operator and provided them with some important clues to track the source of the suspect's funds. Soon the operator contacted his colleagues and started investigating the information provided. While recovering from his injury, Denzel gradually integrated into the life of this small town. That day, he was enjoying delicious food in a restaurant. Suddenly, the waiter became nervous. The boss took out the envelope containing the money and handed it into the hands of the young man. Denzel silently remembered their faces and the happiness index of this small town. Extremely high, everyone was enthusiastic about Denzel, the out-of-towner. This also made Denzel unable to stand these little gangsters. He saw a boss being beaten up for not paying the protection fee in time. He turned around and saw them riding away on a motorcycle. The gangster leader was found. His brother, Black Boss, was expropriating the building by force at this time. Want to evict the residents of the building and build a hotel. Unexpectedly, the brother's movements in collecting money were too big. When Black Boss warned him, the old man who happened to be forced by Black Boss was pushed down directly. His daughter cried hoarsely, but was held hostage by the thugs. The reason why Black Boss did this was to deter other residents who were unwilling to move. At this time, the CIA successfully seized a large amount of goods and money based on clues. In such a comfortable environment, the muzzle also quickly recovered, but at this time, an evil force desperately wanted to invade the residents of this small town. In order to occupy the coastline, they began to force the small town residents. When Denzel was about to leave, he saw that the boss who once gave him fish was crying at his burned shop. Denzel decided to stay for a while. At this time, the beautiful Secret Service also found Denzel and pretended to test his identity. Denzel did not want to reveal too much. He had retired from the world. Seeing this, the beautiful Secret Service had to tell him about the many corpses he found in the winery. Then the topic changed and he started asking Denzel if he did it. Denzel's answer was very vague, which successfully aroused the beautiful Secret Service's desire to explore him. At this time, Gio suddenly received a mysterious phone call. The other party said that his daughter had finished school early, and then the call was hung up. Gio quickly asked the teacher about the whereabouts of his daughter, but the teacher said that he had been picked up. Gio immediately realized that the mother and daughter were in danger, and quickly returned home, but was attacked by gangsters in the house. They threatened Gio with his daughter's safety to stop meddling in other people's business. It turned out that he had seen the arsonist through surveillance not long ago, and informed his superiors. Unexpectedly, the gangsters' informants are everywhere. When Denzel went to see the doctor, he happened to pass Gio. Daniel curiously asked the doctor and learned that there was a mafia called the Ndrangheta in this town, which was within the scope of their evil influence. Every resident has no choice but to swallow their anger, otherwise they will suffer brutal revenge. Just when Gio thought he could protect his family by keeping his tail between his legs, the gangster leader came over again and asked Gio to trade ships with the Somali people. Denzel, who was not far away, had a panoramic view of everything. The gangster leader noticed his gaze and came to the opposite side of Denzel, urging him not to mind his own business. However, Denzel said that this was his favorite town. Please don't destroy this peaceful scene. The gangster leader doesn't take the bald man seriously. Suddenly Denzel asked about his watch. Just as the gangster was about to show off his brand, he was held down by his backhand. The gangster screamed in pain and hurriedly chased away his men obediently and handed over the pistol in his waist. Then Denzel let him go. However, when the gangster leader was discussing how to deal with Denzel, a van rushed over and knocked his men directly away from the wall. Before the gangster leader could react, Another man was drunk by Denzel. The bottle smashed his head. The gangster leader was frightened. He who usually only bullied others couldn't fight Denzel. I saw the gangster leader taking out a dagger to defend himself. Denzel quickly closed the distance between the two of them. With a grappling hand, he turned the dagger into his own weapon. After stabbing the gangster leader crazily several times, he directly broke his hand and pressed the thug leader's throat, ending his domineering life. The tragic situation of these three people was discovered by the police the next day. At this time, the Beauty Special Secret Service received a call from a colleague, and the two discussed the explosive news broadcast on TV. The colleague had discovered that it was a Syrian who was responsible, and was preparing to find their source supplier. The beautiful Secret Service suddenly thought of the information Denzel had inadvertently disclosed to her, and decided to launch another investigation. The female Secret Service came to the police station and found the target person for questioning. The special police had tracked down the factory where the explosives were made and executed them on the spot. At the same time, the black boss was holding a funeral for his younger brother, and the director, who was discussing tracking the drug dealer, came directly to deliver information. The black boss said that he would deal with the female Secret Service, and then asked the director to help cover up his whereabouts. Seeing that the CIA had been alerted, the director wanted to break up, but was stopped by black boss's men. Then the director's hand was stared at the table and cut off abruptly. He endured the severe pain and got into the car. The black boss used the director's family as a threat and asked him to find out the cause of his brother's death. The female Secret Service had just been reminded by Denzel to be careful over the phone. He immediately became vigilant, but the female Secret Service was blown away as soon as she reached the car. In an instant, a group of police officers were seriously injured, and the female Secret Service was rushed to the hospital for emergency treatment. Denzel didn't want to get involved in the mafia, but the other party touched his bottom line. How much would it cost to touch Denzel's friends? The mafia kidnapped his savior and wanted to force the real murderer of his brother to reveal himself. His friend Gio was shot through the ear and collapsed to the ground helplessly. Denzel was completely angry. He held two guns and admitted that he had done it. Then he put the gun on the ground, raised his hands and waited to be shot by the black boss. After the gunshot, the surrounding residents casually moved their cell phones. According to the video, Black Boss was worried about the impact of public opinion and did not fire a gun. The doctor behind him fired a shot into the sky. The pressure of public opinion made Black Boss suppress his anger and put down the gun. In anger, he formally declared war with Denzel before leaving. That night, Black Boss discussed with his confidants how to kill Denzel. However, before he could take action, Denzel came over and killed him in the night. As soon as the doorman smoked a cigarette, he wiped his neck with a knife. The lights in the room flickered on and off, and the person who went to check was shot to death. The lights in the house suddenly went out, and I immediately looked out the window alertly. Before I realized that Denzel had come in, I gave them each a bullet. Finally, someone noticed the abnormality and started to adjust the monitoring. But Denzel had already reached behind him, stabbed him in the throat with a knife, and disappeared quickly. After seeing it, his companions rushed forward to check, but they didn't know that the danger had come. Denzel also gave him a pleasant blow, and he was sleeping. Black Boss felt water droplets dripping on his forehead. When he opened his eyes, he realized it was blood. Suddenly the glass above fell down. Black Boss quickly hid under the bed, only to find that one of his men was hanging dead. The situation was miserable, so he quickly walked out of the bedroom with his gun raised and his bare feet stepping on the glass. Black Boss was still calling out the names of his confidants, but no one answered. He saw the tragic death of his confidants along the way, and was so frightened that he shot bullets randomly. Denzel knocked the Black Boss unconscious and stuffed him with a lot of drugs. After the Black Boss woke up, he found that his neck was fixed with wires. The effect of the drug would take effect in 6 minutes. Denzel also untied him. At this time, the Black Boss is like a lost dog. Even those who crawled away wanted to escape. He fled to the road and was hit by a car. At this time, he didn't care about the pain at all. He got up and continued to move forward. Denzel followed him slowly until he reached a dark trash can. The gangster was frothing at the mouth. The effects of the medicine had taken effect, and he lay on the ground. He struggled painfully until he completely calmed down, and the news reported that the Black Boss died from overdosing on self-produced drugs. Denzel decided to continue his retirement life. He handed over the pension he helped recover to the female Secret Service, hoping that he helps return things to their original owners. It turns out that Denzel helped others track down the deposits of internet fraud, and accidentally ran into the drug dealer's lair along the way, and the relationship between the two was just that they took the same ride. The first thing the female Secret Service did after being discharged from the hospital was to return the pension to the original owner, ensuring the old couple's life for the rest of their lives. Denzel kept his merit and fame deeply. I started my retirement career in this small town with a very high happiness index.